After the battle, neither side had any illusions on what was going to happen next. The Galactic Union knew that they had just kicked the Hornet's Nest and knew that the humans from the Dead Zone were going to be coming for them, and they had to prepare. They summoned every ship that was capable of fighting from every single species in the Union. It didn't matter if they gave their intrepidations or did not want to fight an enemy that had so thoroughly destroyed the invasion group. It did not matter. The Galactic Union and its leaders demanded that each ship capable of fighting will show up, and they were given a timeline which roughly comes out to 6 months in human terms. They were given coordinates to meet up, to link together, to rally, so that they could stop the humans when they show up. There was no if anymore. They saw from the message that there was absolutely no stopping the humans once they locked on their target, and the Galactic Council members, the hierarchs, did not want to be the ones in the way. However many bodies, however many ships they had to throw in the face of the humans, they would do it. And they would do it with as much as possible, as many ships, as many souls as it took to protect them. That's how many they would throw. Doing the calculations, it wouldn't take long before the number of ships rallied was well over 100,000, with another 50 plus thousand on the way. This included all their support units, all their battleships, everything down to the smallest patrol boat, even the transports that were Q ships were required to show up. There was no question on this, or else the hierarchs would have sent their own fleet to the systems to take them by force. This is how the Galactic Council handled the pending invasion. The humans on the other side were more concerned with recovery because the damage that was taken had decimated two entire colonies. One planet was almost uninhabitable due to the glassing that it had received. However, its citizens did not want to ever leave. You could say that was good old fashioned human stubbornness. However, it wasn't stubbornness that brought all the different fleets together. What the Xenos didn't know is that as humanity had taken to the stars, different groups of people from different parts of Earth had taken different parts of different sectors and different planets. In some cases, different societies lived on the same planet, basically splitting it in two, but providing with each other, trading with each other, and trading with others. The more personnel they had, the faster the colony will grow, of course. There were, of course, a few issues, as some decided to expand well beyond their own borders. However, each of these planets that had a population worth defending or willing to defend itself would build its own ships. They started simply with the patrol boats that the alien forces had first originally met. Small, light, but heavily armored and very fast ships. You can consider them close to the old American PT, as in patrol torpedo boats. Well armed, and a hell of a pain in the ass to anyone who comes against them. However, they could not take the direct hit from the alien firearms. The main cannons on those ships were more than enough to melt through the hull of the patrol boats. After that, they moved up to frigates, then to destroyers, then to battleships, dreadnoughts, and carriers. However, carriers were exceptionally rare, as there was only two true carriers built, both of which were controlled by Earth Force itself. Reason being is that the idea of a fighter in space is laughable. The amount of G-forces you would need to actually dodge any type of incoming fire would be more than the human squishy body can take. Everything was done via drones at that point, since they didn't have any squishy bodies to squish. That being said, Earth was more than willing to send them. The 14th Battle Group was part of the Earth Centralized Forces. These centralized forces were, of course, around the main planets of Earth, Alpha Centauri, Proxima 3, and all those. And they were simply out to dissuade anyone else from causing major damage. If there was a regional conflict, they sat and watched, just made sure that the conflict did not go beyond its borders. Then and only then would they step in. It would be the right of conquest of the winner, of course. However, it was not a good idea to stretch a battle far beyond a single planet or a single galaxy in one case. I mean, they are humans after all. They're going to fight. That being said, seeing the colony, even not of their own kin, be destroyed, being wiped off the map, the first one being taken as these monsters would come in with weapons that were more designed to injure than kill, and would take several hits before they were actually lethal. Then they decided to go into an elementary school and not only kill the teachers but kill the students in the same brutal fashion. And when the 14th Battle Group decided to go and send medical ships to assist, they actually shot down medical ships on the way. This sent the entirety of humanity into a bloodlust that no one had seen since the great old days before firearms, when bloodlust was common, and the Galactic Union had brought it back. From small colonies came patrol ships, from large colonies came battle groups, and the entire Earth centralized fleet, with the exception of the second battle group, which would remain behind as a defense posture, were all sent towards the front. Every single one of them began to rally and draw up battle plans. This would be the first time in several hundred years that these forces had come together. Now, on opposite sides of the void, two massive fleets armed themselves. One, outside the void, is gathering those even unwilling to fight, get every single one of their ships that is capable of fighting is brought to the front. Inside the void, not only were ships designed to fight being brought, but even those who could retrofit their transport ships with just a few torpedo launchers or even simple point defense cannons were showing up, loaded with supplies, ready to assist. It was glorious. A sight to see as each one of these ships showed up and checked in with each of the Central Command's battle groups. Sent to one of the battle groups to be under their command, they did not hesitate. They did not question. They knew that if the Galactic Union actually did invade the void, or what the Galactic Union calls the void, then they would be in such deep shit they didn't even want to think about it. Many of these colonies knew that it was just as big a chance that they would have been the ones attacked, and they did not want that to happen. Every human that could fight was ready to fight. Railguns were checked. Torpedo tubes were loaded. Ships were refit and sent up. Even some ships, though it took days to do so, were stripped down to their basic hull and then rebuilt from the inside out so that they could actually fight. It only took about the same time to get everything ready. 7 months. 7 months, and the human probes could see that the Galactic Union's probes were coming in, checking on them. They both knew where each other were. However, the probe would have to go inside the void or outside and then traversed back to send his readings. This became an odd dance as probes were popped in and out, jumped in with just enough power to jump out within about 10 seconds of jumping in, just enough to get a sensor reading. Each ship would actually play a game to see who could actually shoot it first. It didn't matter what side the probe had showed up on. All that really mattered was that they both knew the battle was coming. The only question that was on anyone's mind on either side of the void was which side would jump in first. If the Galactic Union actually truly knew anything about humanity, they would have known this one simple truth. Never give humans a chance to prepare for war. For we may care so much for our brethren, but that care comes with the opposite, which is rage. And now that rage has reached a fever pitch, and everyone wants blood, and they will have it, as the signal was sent out across the fleet in a phrase everyone knew as the signal to start the invasion. Cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war.